Hello everybody, and what a race we had at the Mexican Grand Prix yesterday. Max Verstappen taking his 16th win of this season in a red flag interrupted race. That means now that Verstappen has broke his own record from last year where he took 15 wins in the season. So Verstappen is just carrying on breaking these records. Lewis Hamilton was second for Mercedes. The race pace of that Mercedes in Hamilton's hands looked fantastic again. Charles Leclerc, who was on pole position, was third for Ferrari, rounding out the top three positions. And a big shout out to Lando Norris, who was fifth in the McLaren after starting in P19 after a dreadful qualifying session. And another shout out to Daniel Ricciardo, who qualified P4 in the AlphaTauri and finishing in P7, gaining his first points since he came back in Hungary earlier this season. That result for Ricciardo means that AlphaTauri have moved from bottom of the Constructors' Championship in 10th and have moved up to 8th place ahead of Alfa Romeo Sauber and Haas, who had an absolutely dreadful weekend with Kevin Magnussen's suspension failing, and that's what caused the red flag halfway through the race. And Nico Hülkenberg on his 200th Grand Prix start, holding on to 10th place for so long, nearly getting a championship point, but unfortunately the tyres, they just wore away, as they usually do on the Haas, and Hülkenberg was only able to finish in 13th place. And then in 14th was Valtteri Bottas, who had a very unfortunate race. After a fantastic qualifying where he was P9 in the Alfa Romeo Sauber. But unfortunately the red flag did not help Valtteri, who pitted just before the red flag, and that left him down in P16. And then being stuck in a DRS train, that really did affect his race. And another shout out to Alex Albon, who got another 2 points for him and Williams with P9. Another fantastic job by Alex and the Williams team, who are cementing their P7 position in the Constructors' Championship. And just back onto Valtteri Bottas quickly, I said he finished P14. Well, he did on the road, but he did get a penalty for a collision with Lance Stroll, so that moves him behind his teammate Guan Yu Zhou into P15. That means that both Aston Martins didn't finish the race. Another absolutely dreadful weekend for the team that looked like they were going to challenge Red Bull at the start of the season. Every upgrade that the team have brought to that car has just made it slower. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible how slow the Aston Martin has got compared to what it has been, at other points in the season. Absolutely incredible how such a backwards trend in development has ruined their chances of, what looked like an easy P2 in the Constructors at the start of the year. With this massive downward trend in performance, I don't think it will be long before we see a bit of Fernando Alonso shenanigans. Remember in 2015, GP2 engine, GP2. Rah! I think we might be getting a bit more of that if Aston Martin failed to improve. And the first DNF of the Grand Prix, what an absolute shame it was for Sergio Perez to crash out at the first corner. He was going for the lead of the Grand Prix. I tell you, if he'd have pulled that off, he would have been an absolute hero, especially with the Mexican fans. But it was not to be for Sergio, and he did put the squeeze on Charles Leclerc, and he ended up being launched into the air, wrecking the side pod of the RB19, and unfortunately having to retire from his home race. And it couldn't have come at a worse time, with his seat being reasonably unsecure now for 2024, and with Daniel Ricciardo putting in an absolutely great performance in the AlphaTauri yesterday. Some would wonder if Ricciardo would be, probably suitable to be Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull once again. But I guess that is something we'll have to wait and see, at the end of the season for. Because I don't think we will get any sort of announcement like that if Perez is to be dumped by Red Bull until after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the end of the season. And also now with Liam Lawson waiting in the wings after his great performances for AlphaTauri, we're just going to have to wait and see how the driver market is going to shake out in terms of that. So that was just a quick roundup then of all the events from the Mexican Grand Prix, and I will be back with another video very soon. Thank you to everybody that has watched this video, it is greatly appreciated. And let's look forward to the last 3 races of the season in Brazil, Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi. But thank you very much for now. Bye bye.